Hey everyone, welcome. My name's Mackenzie and I'm the founder of Grad Jobs. Today I have the pleasure of interviewing an amazing person, Mahin, and it's amazing to have him here. Just before we get started, I'll give you a little bit of a background on him. So he was an international student who recently graduated from the University of Sydney, and he landed a number of internship offers, a number of graduate offers or job offers. And about 3-4 months ago, he's accepted an offer from an excellent company called PD Warrior, where he is working as a marketer, seems to really be enjoying it there. And also prior to his master's, he did some pretty amazing things, which we'll talk through a little bit. So the whole point of this interview is to dive in to his amazing story and deconstruct it. So, we can figure out how he got such amazing results. So welcome. How are you?
I'm good, Mackenzie. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me for this chat.
No, thank you. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. And it's, I think people who watch this will get a ton of value from your story because, you truly have had an amazing run and you're also an awesome bloke as well.
Thank
so
you.
double
Thanks,
whammy.
I hope I can help out people. That's what I love to do. So it would be great if someone finds value from it, for sure.
Amazing. All right. Should I get kick started with some questions?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So looking at your profile and your LinkedIn, your resume, your journey started back in 2013. So you started with a bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
And then later on went to do an internship and then start your own company.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about that process for you?
Yeah, of course. So basically, I started my bachelor's around 2013, and I was doing my bachelor's in bachelor's of business administration in marketing. I always loved marketing. I always loved things that were creative and tried to add value through being creative. And I felt like, okay, marketing was the right way to go. But as well as I was doing my bachelor's degree, I realized that I wasn't feeling content, so I wanted to do more. So I wanted to help out the society that I was living in at that moment. So I'm from Bangladesh, and over there I wanted to help out people. And what I did was along with my friends, started an organization. It was called Enliven, and through Enliven we did a lot of multiple projects and different social work, and we created a social organization. And so what we did was we dealt with different social issues in the society, where such as people suffering from autism, underprivileged people in the society, like building school infrastructure, building sustainable businesses for women, and a lot of other things. Yeah, it was a great journey. I think it was one of the best parts of my life, especially meeting different kinds of people all around the world. The team that I worked with was amazing. My co-founders and my team in Enliven was amazing. So yeah, I shared a lovely journey with them. And after that, like I finished my bachelor's around 2018, most probably end of 2018, and then also I was also working full time for Enliven. And after my work, I previously got an internship at United Nations in Austria, Vienna, which was amazing. And then, but unfortunately, I was supposed to go around 2019 2020, July or April, around that time. So, but unfortunately, I couldn't go because of COVID-19 restrictions and borders being locked down. So yeah, that's kind of an introduction to the story and how it went.
That's amazing. I think the fact that you got a United Nations internship is pretty awesome. And with Enliven, could you give us an example of the scale of the impact that you had there?
Yeah, I think, we had like a lot of different kinds of impact. So one kind of impact would be that we had a very big community that we built in Enliven. So when I say community, it was like engaging the youth and having a lot of volunteers who committed to our fundraising events. We not only our fundraising events, but we had a lot of different kinds of events that generated social outreach and social integration of different diverse races in the society and all that. So I would say that like we had over 200 team members at a time whom I along with my co-founders managed, which was amazing. And at the same time, I would say that created a lot of impact within the youth and who people, especially people who were younger than us in the society, who were in schools and all that. And then also, I would say that when we created like businesses for social businesses and sustainable businesses for women, we created 4 businesses for 4 different women who were not being able to support themselves. And now not only they're supporting themselves, but their families and their businesses are growing. So I think that was a great impact. We built infrastructure for schools, like a renovated infrastructure for schools, which are able to support the education of 120 plus children at a time. So that's amazing. And then we also had like multiple social events covered towards autism. So what we did was we wanted to make people suffering from autism, and especially children suffering from autism, interact with the society. And we created numerous events which involved like over 150 volunteers at a time and managed over $500 million organizations as stakeholders for sponsorships and all that. So it was quite crazy during that time because I just went out of high school, like finished high school and started all this and was studying at the same time. So it was amazing. So yeah, these were the kinds of impact that we had within people.
Amazing. That's really, really cool. And so you then decided to come to Australia and study at the University of Sydney, one of the best unis in the world. What was the reason behind that?
So honestly, like I would be frank, like I had like 2 options. I had the option of going to Canada and coming to Australia. So the two unis that I loved the most was University of Sydney and University of British Columbia. So, but the thing is, like, I didn't choose to go to Canada because I felt like it's pretty cold, and I am a person who really likes tropical weather and like hot, warm weather. I come from a very tropical country myself, so yeah, so that's why like I thought maybe I won't be able to adjust. I really came like when I came to Australia, I loved it. I loved the weather, and I had a lot of friends here, so I knew that the people in Australia are amazing, and especially given the economy, like I think the economy of Australia is very strong in terms of financial position. So that was also one of the key reasons for coming to Australia. I felt like there was a higher chance I could establish myself better in Australia. So yeah, and after I got the offer from University of Sydney, I was like stoked. I was like, yeah, this is it. I'm just getting on a plane and then seeing where the future takes me.
Amazing. And so you started your degree at the University of Sydney, and between then and when you graduated, you had a ton of different experiences.
Yeah.
Could you talk us through what those were?
Yeah. So I think one of the first experience, like studying at UCID gave me a lot of exposure in terms of like having different exposures to different companies, doing different projects for different companies. I think, but the first practical work that I did in terms of being as an internship, I think was for a Brisbane-based firm, which was a corporate wellness organization. So I was my first internship in Australia. It was during COVID at that time, and yeah. And then what happened was like I was doing the remote internship, and then my employers and my colleagues, everyone was extremely kind and nice. And I was working there as a marketing intern. So I had to create their marketing strategies, look at a lot of data, and get involved with like a lot of hands-on experience like that I did not have in Sydney, but of course I had from Bangladesh. So I just had to roll up my sleeve and then just get on with the work and everything. And it was pretty amazing because I learned a lot. I learned that the culture was different, the working environment was different, the pace of work was different, but everything I loved it, and especially my employers, they were amazing. And I really understood that in Australia, people are very kind and they have a lot of empathy towards you. So they do understand, they try to understand your situation, and that's amazing. So yeah, I think that was one internship that I had, and then after that, before my graduation, I got another internship at an amazing firm, which was a venture capital firm. And then over there, I was working as a digital marketing intern. So from there, I was working with a lot of automation strategies, doing a lot of Facebook and social media strategies, and other kinds of marketing work, which gave me a lot of exposure. And it was honestly amazing. And I would say that it's just not the work itself, but it's also about dealing with people, communicating with people, understanding how to do work. Because especially when we start working, we understand that maybe a lot of times we don't learn a lot of things at uni that is needed for in work. But as long as you know how to communicate and you know how to manage your stakeholders, which I learned through my internship, you can actually get everything done properly.
Brilliant. So you had a couple of internships. That's correct?
Yeah, two internships.
And so the first one, you said you got exposure through uni.
Yeah.
So how did you actually practically land that internship?
Okay, so basically, at UC, there are a lot of programs that you have. So, for example, like the program that I got the internship from was called the Job Smart program. So with that program, what you do is like they prepare you from the start, like as a student, as someone who has no idea about the job market. So they go through your resume, fix your resume, and all those things, and then build you up in a way, and then help you network with other people. And then they pair you up with organizations who like the work that you've been doing, like your resume and like the interviews that you've given. So we have to give like online interviews, but we don't know exactly which company we are going to give the interviews for. So it's like a very general interview. So then the company decides, okay, if we want this candidate or not. So that was how it worked out. And then it was like a corporate wellness organization based in Brisbane. Yeah, so it was amazing. So that's how the uni paired me up with my first internship after some work. So yeah.
That's great. And so the uni really did a great job there.
Yeah, 100%. And it was amazing because after that, I had the opportunity to work with the same company. I got a great offer. The people were just amazing. So yeah, like it was just an amazing experience that was provided to me by the uni, I would say.
Definitely. Well done, Uni Sid.
Yeah.
So good. That's excellent. Okay, so that's how you got the first one and you got your foot in the door of the market, got that bit of experience to put on your resume and showcase. But then you also got a slightly longer internship with that in that venture capital space. Mm-hmm. How did you go about that?
So with that space, honestly, it was pretty a very unique way, honestly, because what I happened to see was like at first I saw the advertised intern job on LinkedIn. So at that time I was fixing my LinkedIn resume and everything. And then I think at that time I reached out to you, and then we just started our grad jobs, my grad program. And I remember like at that time you helped me fix my resume, fix my cover letter and all those things. So I was pretty strong in terms of having the like roots steady and going properly as a student who's about to graduate after a few months. So I saw that advertised job, it was amazing, and then I applied for it. And then I realized, oh, there's one classmate of mine who works in that company, and I found him through LinkedIn, and then I talked to him on class, and I was like, hey, do you know that I love this company? And I got a recommendation from him. And then I later got the internship after 2 interviews. And then, yeah, it was just amazing. And then I got like my hands-on experience on working for a venture capital firm, which was amazing, and had to deal with multiple projects that were very practical experiences.
That's awesome. So you did the application, you put in a high quality one, but on top of that, you had the recommendation. So double whammy there as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome. And it sounds like that internship was actually really good. It sounds like you did a lot.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like that internship is one of the biggest reasons that I landed later, like graduate opportunities and like job offers after graduating. And I would say that for any candidate who's like me, who's an international student, doesn't have too much exposure because of the limited time they were in Australia. just when it's time, like when they have time, just to get practical experience, because that's what employers look for. Because even if you're from a very good university, they want someone who at least has basic communication and stakeholder management skills. Because if that's like vital, they don't want to teach you like basic life skills, right? It's very important. So I think, yeah, like doing those internships were just vital for me to get my first job. And I think it would be very hard if I didn't have those internships to get such good job offers later on.
Definitely. And it comes back to supply and demand, doesn't it? Like if you're going for a graduate role and there's 20 people who have 6 months internship experience, then you're way more risky. You don't have any, right?
Yeah, mate.
So, but that's amazing. So you already kind of prepared, you already had that experience as well from Bangladesh with all that entrepreneurship and your internship. So you're coming, together as a strong candidate. And so then around this time, around that kind of second internship, when you got that, you joined the program. So out of interest, what was the main reason that you decided to join it and start working with me?
Honestly, mate, I think when I first saw you on LinkedIn, like jobs program, and I felt like I was researching on you, and then I had no experience with you no prior experience with you, right? So what I did was I actually had a few chats with other people who had done your program before, and that was like the main reason I actually got into your program and had the confidence to go for it. Because as a graduate, of course, like I need to like make proper decisions, right? And then informed decisions is, I think, in terms of like referrals are the best like weight that you can give to different sources of for decision making. And I feel like people who had done your program previously, I reached out to them and they were like, every single person I talked to, they were like, oh, your McKinsey is just amazing. And the one thing that everyone said was that no, Mackenzie was always there for me. Like even at different odd hours of the time, if I needed him, he was always there to answer my call. He was an amazing mentor, and that was like all I needed. I just rushed to you. I remember our phone call. It was amazing. I was like, yeah, just give me a day. I'll confirm tomorrow and just get everything done. I'm like, yeah, I was so excited, and I think that was one of the best decisions I honestly made as a student and who's graduating, because I do think that a lot of my success can be contributed to you and from the program, because I learned a lot. Yeah.
Thank you. Very, very kind. I'm yeah, that's good that you did your due diligence. Definitely. And it seems like people are doing due diligence through you now.
Yeah, I feel like the position has changed, but yeah, I think it's amazing, and I'm always happy to refer people, and especially when people ask about my journey with you, like how you helped me out and exactly like what are the unique aspects of your program. I always am so happy to share it, because I know like as an international student or as a student in general, like everyone feels anxious and nervous. So if there's someone to support you through the progress and through the hardships of getting a job, yeah, that's just amazing. And yeah, that's why I help them out too.
Awesome. And so just to really clarify that point, so the main reason you joined was, yes, you believed in what I was doing, but also was it to just solidify your place, really do everything you could, throw the kitchen sink at this graduate job thing and just make sure it worked out? Was that the kind of second reason?
Yeah, mate, I think it was like honestly when I saw your program, and I really felt like, oh, you're a genuine person, as after speaking to a lot of people. And I really felt that I needed to do anything that is within my power to invest in myself. So I believed at that time, like getting into the program would be investing in myself. And honestly, it was one of the best decisions ever. And yeah, so I had to do it, because if I didn't do it, I would regret, like, oh, what if I got the program, and then what if I could get the job earlier? And I honestly would have regretted immensely if I didn't, honestly, because after joining the program, I realized I had so many flaws. I had so many things to learn in terms of applying for jobs with my resume, how I communicate with people, how I do the interviews, how I fix my resume, everything. Like learned from A to Z. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. That's really kind. I wasn't expecting that. And this isn't, I didn't pay him to say this, by the way.
No, no, Mackenzie never paid me, but honestly, I'm a big fan of Mackenzie because I do believe that he's an amazing person and you'll go far, mate.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind.
Yeah.
And likewise. All right. So enough about grad jobs. So you landed that second internship, and then the end of your degree came. You know, that time I remember you were doing your final exams or your final projects, and you were like, I'm actually graduating. You were so scared about graduating.
Yeah.
And so then you'd kind of set the foundations to go after these graduate jobs. So I think this is the thing people are really looking to learn about.
Mhm.
You know, how was that process for you from going, okay, I need a grad job, to getting multiple grad jobs?
Yeah.
How did it look?
Yeah, mate.
How did it look? Yeah. How did that whole process look?
I think it was like it had like two different paths, honestly. So I felt like first I was really like reaching out to people and networking a lot, like trying to build my network and trying to find out different mentors within the marketing industry, within the tech industry, and within different industries that I would want to work in. So yeah, that I started doing. And honestly, I really didn't believe before I started doing it that like marketing directors of top multinational companies would go and have brunches with me, coffees with me, and then they would pay for having lunch with me, give me their time, like 40 minutes, 1 hour, you name it. They would give me their number. Like I would never believe that these things would happen, but these happened.
Yeah.
And I built network with amazing people from my dream companies like that, from just reaching out to them through LinkedIn, sending a message, and then having, just because at that time COVID was not so serious and we could go outside. I had so many physical chats and all that. So that was one way. And from that, I actually got like 2 internship offers from my dream companies, which were like top marketing agencies around the world. And also another path was applying for advertised jobs, which was like just going for advertised jobs, finding out people, hiring managers who are posting those jobs, networking with them, having chats with them, building connections with them, showing them how good of a candidate I am, not just like sitting there, okay, for the interview appointment to come. So that was another step. And like honestly, with those steps, I felt like I built extremely well, good connections. And even the other job offers that I got, like I still have good connections with the managers and hiring managers. So there, I still keep in touch. And yeah, it's just amazing to see like how people would do so much for you if you just build a connection and have a proper network and if they trust you. So yeah, these were the two paths I took. And it led me to have like 2 internship offers from amazing companies and 2 job offers from amazing companies. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And I might just dive in, and you don't have to give specific details here, because
Yeah.
I know there's some personal information potentially.
Yeah.
But one of the so you got you talked about a multinational marketing company.
Yeah.
And so could you tell us a little bit more about that story where they kind of allocated the time for you, and where it was? And you don't have to give specific details about the person or the company, but just to really give people this image of what does it look like when this works?
Yeah. So honestly, I've reached out to the person who was an executive in the marketing agency. It's one of the best marketing agencies in the world. And honestly, when I got a response from him, it was just amazing. It was just like, oh my God. And then he just the response I got, like when I got the response, I was just looking at the screen for like at least 5 minutes. I was like, oh, I got the response. And then the response that I got was, hey, you know what? Instead of a 10 minutes phone call, hey, why don't we meet for a coffee? And then, yeah, and then we met for a coffee, and it was in Sydney CBD. Yeah. And then we went there. I went there for a coffee around 8:30 in the morning. So he met me before his office time. It was just crazy. And then we had a long conversation. I think I had a chat with him for almost 45 minutes. And then after that, he was like, you know what, you're amazing. Let me introduce another person from the marketing team to have a chat with you to see if we can get you an internship. And then, yeah, from then on, like it was like a dream for me coming true. Yeah. So it was just crazy. Like I would just say that it was crazy the entire moment. You don't feel like, oh, it's happening. But after it happens, you just need to step back and think like, oh, this happened and it happened because of you, because of your effort. So yeah.
Yeah, that is, it's crazy. I think I even did a LinkedIn post about that one because it was particularly special. You know, this person was so senior, and the amount of effort they and energy they poured into you, and I'm sure will continue to pour into you now,
Yeah.
over your career, which is the thing a lot of people forget about. It's not a one-step game.
Yeah.
Like it's a 10-step game. And if you have good relationships, you know, you could be, you know, 10 years from now, you could hit that person up for a coffee and they would love it.
Yeah, and I still message them every month, and like all the mentors I've learned, like whom I've built connections with, like I always message them, keep in touch with them, and I definitely will meet up with them, and for no reason at all, just to know how they're doing. And honestly, if I can help them in any way, I would be so grateful too, because yeah, they've helped me out when I actually had nothing to give back. But it's just so amazing that how people can, how such senior people can just do it for you for no reason at all. Like they don't have any reason to do it, but they do it. Yeah.
100%. And from memory, the same kind of people actually talk to other people in the industry to see if they could help at other firms, right?
100%. Yeah. And then from there, I got a lot of introductions, and I at least have like more, like 6, 7 more mentors just from that, just from there.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think another thing that happened was with another job offer, I remember. It was just because I was messaging with a specific target on LinkedIn to different people who had the potential to be a mentor, who had amazing experiences and careers. So I remember I messaged to 3 people, and out of 3 people, I talked to one. I got a response from one, and then and then I got a job offer by the end of the day, which was really like amazing. And it was like, wow, like the amount of anxiousness and the amount of stress people have, the students have when they're about to graduate is like really a lot. But I feel like if you just trust the process and keep on following it, you will get the outcome, the positive results. Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. And so this is a lot of offers you actually got through that approach. So three offers through
Yeah, in
purely
total 3 offers and 2 internships.
and so from just no job application, nothing, going and getting an offer, you got 2 internships and a job offer just from that approach.
Yeah.
And then also some advertised ones as well, which is that's really good. But it's not, it doesn't always dial in perfectly, you know. It's not always 3 messages, 1 response, 1 offer. Like I remember, actually very vividly, I remember this. We had a call, and I think I was in the city at the time, and you were calling me and you said, hey, I've sent maybe 20 or 30 messages and they're not working.
I 100% remember. So when I started out initially, and you know, this is the thing, like we always talk about the good things that we've achieved, but it's also very important to talk about the failures, because the failures are just stepping stones that we need to learn from so that like we can grow. Because if we don't fail, I feel like we don't have an opportunity to grow anymore, right? So yeah, I specifically remember that call. I was stressed out when I just started out the program, and I specifically remember it was 35 messages
Yeah.
after doing like hundreds of research and all that. So yeah, it was like 35 messages that I sent out, and out of 35 messages, I think it was just the response was so bad. And then I think I reached out to you saying like, okay, I am not getting response from anyone at all. So I was like, okay, so what should I do now? And I remember you were like, hey, listen, it's fine if you're not getting the response. We just need to see, okay, how we can improve and just be better, and then go forward with a new strategy. And then that's exactly what we did. And I remember after a week, I started getting responses, and I was like, "Hey, mate, everything's working. How is this possible?"
It's fine again. I remember that so vividly. It's funny because I was quite alarmed as well. I was like, 30 messages? That's a lot. Maybe it's not working anymore. Not really, but like I got that shock. When I see things like that, I think, oh, maybe, because the law of like large numbers, when sometimes you get unlucky. But I think with this particular case, it was about looking at it. It was about saying, okay, this part of the message, I can see what could be going wrong here. Let's change that and test it again. It's just that kind of iterative process. And then that one change, luckily, we got the change right, and we hit it on the head and it started working again. But if that didn't work, we would have measured it, we would have paused, and we would have tested a different part of the message.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe we would have looked at, maybe it's a different person that you're sending it to. Maybe, are you connected with them? Are you not connected? But it's an iterative process, right? Fail, 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 succeed.
Yeah, honestly, mate, 100%. Because I feel like, yeah, because when we start out, we are going to start out with less experience, but as we go forward, we'll have experiences of failures and success. So we know, okay, this is working, this is not working. And that's I think one of the most important things for getting a job, is to understand what is not working and to keep understanding what is working. So if you're not being able to differentiate that, then I'm pretty sure it's going to take much more time. And this is actually something that you helped me out with. So yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, you have a really good story. And so then you got all these offers and you had all this amazing, this crazy experience with these dream mentors in your field, amazing companies. And then you also got 2 offers pretty much at the same time, I think, from 2 advertising
Yeah, it was in
jobs.
the same week. It was in the same week.
Yeah, same week, 2 offers, and you were kind of like, oh, which offer do I take? And you ended up with PD Warrior, right? Mm-hmm. And so I know this is a strange question to ask, but I think it's funny because most people never think they'll have. They go for so long without having an offer that they think, how can I possibly have 2 offers or 3 offers at once? So how does it feel to go from student to graduate with 2 offers at once? Does it feel strange?
I mean, honestly, it does feel strange, and it's not actually a very good feeling. You know why? I'll tell you. Because especially like if you have multiple offers, it feels very, it's because both the offers at that time, like on the week that I got, they were both from like very amazing companies. Like the people from the organization I had extremely good relationships with. And I was just like so confused and so like I couldn't like decide properly, like which one do I go for? Like both of them were excellent organizations. And yeah, it was a bit difficult decision to make. And it took me a long time to actually make the decision. But yeah, but as I said before, like I have great relationships with every organization that I know. So yeah, it played out well.
Definitely. And I'm sure going into the future, you're going to continue to use these skills both internally within the organization and with whatever future roles or companies, marketing, consulting companies you start. We'll see. Nah, definitely you will. I know you will. Or maybe another social enterprise. I'm not sure what you've decided yet. I know you, and from memory, you were thinking about that.
Yeah, I do want to. After I establish myself as a successful marketer in the industry, then that is my next goal, to have an organization that helps out people in Australia and targets different areas within Australia to, especially working with the 17 United Nations Sustainable Goals. So yeah.
Excellent. And so I think we've already covered the grad jobs thing enough. It's pretty clear as to why you joined and kind of what value you got. So we can probably skip over that part. I think so I think that's your story. Is there anything else that you would say to someone who was in your shoes a year ago or even 5 years ago?
Yeah.
And they're watching this, they're a student, they're a graduate, maybe they're in Australia, maybe they're an international student, maybe they're not in Australia yet, maybe they're thinking about coming to Australia. But what would you say to these people, knowing what you know now?
I think the biggest thing that students have is a lot of anxiousness going forward about the future. And that is actually something that does keep a lot of students awake at night thinking, okay, what do I do next? And we do put a lot of pressure on ourselves. Oh, we try to do part-time jobs or casual jobs. We try to study full-time. And then we try to do internships and work for other organizations at the same time. We try to be Superman or woman. So, but honestly, it's hard and we have limited time. So I would say that we should just continue investing in ourselves, like in terms of self-development, and going forward, trying to have as much experience as possible when we have the time. I think that's more than enough for us to, for our students who are just about to graduate or who will graduate in the future to just be confident with themselves. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Excellent advice. And so if people do want to contact you, as they seem to have been doing already, but if they do want to contact you, what is the most convenient way for them to do that?
I think just through my LinkedIn would be the best way to do it, because I'm always active on LinkedIn and always networking with people for no reason at all. Now I just like it to network. So yeah, and I think just sending me a connection request and just sending me a message would be a great way to just connecting with me. And my name in LinkedIn is Mahian Munir Khan, so it's on your profile as a as a reference. Yeah.
Excellent. And just kind of to finish off here, you just said that now you network for fun.
Yeah.
And compare that to what, the first cold message that you sent.
Yeah.
Is it a stark difference in how you feel?
Honestly, there is the difference, because there's a big difference of the heart, the power of like stage fright and nervousness. So I previously, when I used to network with people, I used to be always nervous, and I was like, what should I say? I would be like, oh my God, prepare a strategy and all that. But after a lot of conversations, now I know what the strategy is, how to talk and all that. So I don't need to even prepare. So now I just network with people just to have like mentors in the industry, and even to support other people if they need mentors who are students and all that. Although I wouldn't say like I'm a good mentor, I'm just graduate myself, but still like try to help out others. So yeah, it's just fun because in the end, like after work, you have limited amount of things to do, because I'm also don't have too many family members here. So it's great to know people through LinkedIn, and everyone's supportive in the LinkedIn community. So it's just great. You can never learn enough from others, right? So yeah.
100%. And something comes to mind there that is every action has an equal and opposite reaction, right? Like if you're hesitant and nervous and scared, messaging people, they're probably going to have that equal and opposite reaction back onto you in the message, and it will probably come through in your message. So if you're, as in the place where you are now, where you're confident, you're comfortable, you're happy, you're calm, it's going to come right back.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, awesome. I won't take up any more of your time, but I really do appreciate it. It's been amazing to chat with you. I think this has been incredibly valuable for me personally, and to anyone watching this. I'm sure it'll be incredibly valuable as well to know more about you and your amazing story so far. Because you started this all back in 2013 or even 2012 with Enliven, and you're only scratching the surface. So thank you, and I look forward to maintaining our relationship long into the future. So
100%, mate.
so well done, and thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, mate. Thank you for your time too. Enjoyed it a lot.
Catch you later.
Catch
See
you
you.
later.
Bye.
Bye.